because again, you are who you think you are,
Right.
right? And what you say to yourself every day, what you affirm to yourself, what you believe yourself to truly be is what comes into fruition. The universe gives you what you're ready for.
My name is Django. I grew up in a small town, but always felt the universe pushing me to do something monumental. In 2010, I was working at the drive-thru of McDonald's for $7.25 an hour. Fast forward to today, and I'm the co-founder of a multi-million-dollar technology agency. This is the Django Show, where I interview founders of successful companies and expose the how-tos of becoming a successful entrepreneur. What up, what up? It's your boy Django. This is episode 4 of the Django Show. I am so excited to have my guest today. He is an extra special guest. I think I met him about a month ago now at the Jay's Better Way event. And honestly, he just surprised me with the wisdom that he had for his years. He's only 18 years old and he's had quite a journey already. Just like, honestly, it's incredible. So instead of actually giving him an intro today, I want him to kind of talk about kind of where his journey is right now and how he got here. And when you guys hear it, I think that you're going to understand why. I just can't do him justice. So here's my brother, Valentino.
What is going on?
What's up, man? How are you?
Phenomenal. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I want to give you the ability to kind of talk to yourself because I think that what you have is unbelievably unique and really something that can help a lot of people that are your age. So I'll kind of give you the floor to kind of tell the people about yourself and what you're doing.
Sweet, brother. Thank you. First of all, thank you very, very much for giving me this platform. That's such a huge blessing. And I thought the least thing I could do was bring you as much energy as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just bring you all the energy I have. I was doing a visualization before this and I was jumping around and I had my eyes closed, pretending like I was on stage. Mm-hmm. And what that does, it gives me all the energy from the people, from the quote unquote audience, right? And of course I'm just on the couch visualizing it, but it gives me the same amount of energy because my mind doesn't know whether I'm there or not.
Yeah.
But to introduce myself really quickly, my name is Valentino. I am an 18-year-old real estate entrepreneur. I pride myself on helping others, helping children. That's my passion. Really teaching people how to become financially free. That is another one of my passions. I am not financially free just yet, but it's my pure passion to be able to help other people understand financial freedom, the FIRE movement, how to save money, how to make money. And I love talking about human spirit, I love talking about passion, other people's passion. That's something I'm really good at is extracting other people's passion.
Yeah.
Being able to elevate on top of it, right? Yeah. And really bring my energy. So I love talking about energy, spirituality, all this cool stuff. I do real estate. I love talking about real estate sometimes. I love talking about human spirit a bunch more. So we can go however way you want, man.
Well, I mean, just to start things off, man, like when I met you, I felt like your energy was like infectious. And I felt like you did a really, really great job of just like listening. And I didn't even realize how old you were until you like told me. And I just was like, well, wait. Like you just graduated high school. And then you started kind of jumping into how, just graduated, moved, doing your thing, working. And I just was like, dude, like I didn't leave home until I was 24. I graduated college, went home, and I was like, man, I got to save a certain amount of money. I got to do this and that. So I think it'd be really incredible to just kind of hear how you kind of mustered the courage to take that step, especially at a time where a lot of people are, staying home for even longer periods of time to like their 30s,
Dude, same to you too on your energy. It was very contagious right away. So you instantly know when someone else has contagious good energy. Because when you guys meet, it's like boom, link.
Yeah.
Entire conversation. You're both listening to each other.
Sure.
It's not just one person. It was wonderful. So thank you for your blessing with that energy.
Yeah.
And with that, like I don't tell people my age. First of all, like I don't tell people it straight up.
Yeah.
Where I have a very intellectual conversation with you after I share my blessing with you, which is my energy, and give you a sense of who I am as a person. Then I hit you with, okay, yeah, I'm 18. I just graduated high school. And by the way, I did just graduate high school 2.5 months ago.
Yeah.
So graduated from my hometown, in San Bruno. I graduated from Cappuccino. So I decided not to go to college,
Mm-hmm.
which was a conversation with my parents and a continuous conversation with my parents. You know, my parents are Asian,
Yeah, yeah.
but very luckily they are the type of Asian parents that let me do whatever I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in like first grade, like I would walk into the forest, do whatever I want. As long as I was home by 1 a.m., I was good.
That's awesome.
First to fifth grade.
Yeah.
My parents, they're great people. I
Yeah.
know they sound like they're irresponsible, but
So,
they helped me grow a lot. Okay, how did I muster up the courage to skip college, to move out to Arizona? A little bit of backstory: I'm from San Francisco. As soon as I graduated high school, 2 months later, I moved out to Arizona by myself with like a few. I think I had like $25, a little bit more than that. But I moved out here, and I was just like, "Screw it, let's go, let's make it happen." And I'm living with a roommate who's my performance coach as well. And I have a great business partner. We're creating a nationwide wholesaling company. But how did I muster up the courage to go? Okay. So I have this belief that you need to change your environment in order to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
I would agree, 100%.
Because if you're in the same environment, for example, where I was living for the past 18 years, I had gone through so many memories there. There were so many emotions within that house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my parents' problems, me and my sister, me and my dad, their problems, they're all within that house, the spirit within that house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every single day I'm waking up and it's like that same energy, that same aura is in the house. And I can't elevate myself to a higher standard because I'm in the same environment every single day, and there's problems going on in the house. There's things going on around me. So what I knew that I had to change my environment. So I did everything I can. I did whatever it takes, WEIT, whatever it takes to get myself out of there and elevate to a new mindset, to a new standard.
I feel that. That's energy, bro. You know, it's interesting. I was actually reading the Superior Man book, and funny enough, I was looking at my notes, and one of the things it talks about is, like, one of the quotes I wrote down was, by eliminating the safety net of comforts in your life, you have the opportunity to free fall in this moment between birth and death, right through the hole of your fear, into the unthreatenable openness, which is the source of your gifts. The superior man lives as this spontaneous sacrifice. And I just was like thinking about when you're talking about that. And even like for me, I just moved to Boston. I knew that there was like something that needed to be done. And I knew that like I was way too in my mode, way too just like doing the same thing every day. Like, you know, I just, when you're driving down the road, you have the same thoughts. You just can't help it. You're stuck in like some of those habitual things. And so like getting out and getting to Austin was probably one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. And like changing the whole way that I thought, changing the way that I set up my habits, changing the way that I did things. And I'm sure maybe you felt some of those same things once you got out to Arizona.
Yeah, man, because it puts you in such an uncomfortable position. Like I had my mama, I had my pops and my sister and my dog and my girl all back at home in my little safe bubble, right? So when I go, and Arizona's not that far from California, honestly, but it's still a 12-hour drive. So I drove my ass 12 hours with all my can I swear in here?
It's all good, bro.
With all my stuff. I drove to Arizona with all my stuff, and I put myself in a very, very, very uncomfortable position. And I was vulnerable, very vulnerable, out here alone, starting my business at 18. All of my friends are going to college. All of my friends are still at home doing their thing. And I'm all the way over here starting a business without my people, my roots, right? But what happens there is when you're in that uncomfortable position, you have this new aura, this new energy that allows you to grow 2 times, 3 times, 4 times faster.
Right.
Because you don't have the protective armor on.
Yeah.
So then your body has to adapt to the stresses, the new environment, all these new feelings that are attacking you. You become wounded when you're uncomfortable, but your body grows from it. It elevates you when you're outside of your comfort zone. That's why you always want to seek discomfort, because you always want to grow. And what happens when you're not growing? You're dying, right? Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins, it's a classic. I mean, look, there's no such thing as actual stagnation. You're not actually staying in the same place. You're either getting better or worse, just like you said. I mean, Tony Robinson talks a lot about that. Even like I think about it even from like a physical perspective. I used to be 260 pounds, and I had stopped working out. I stopped, eating right. I was doing all kinds of stuff. But like, in order for me to get to the point that I wanted to be, like, you have to get uncomfortable. First mile I ever ran was like 11 minutes. And now I can run like a 5-minute mile. But like 2 years of just like going out, running, sunny, sleet, rain, doesn't matter where I am, traveling, staying consistent, just trying to figure things out. Got to be uncomfortable just in as many aspects of life. And that's pretty tough. I mean, you've grown up. What are you, technically a Gen Z, right?
XYZ, one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those. But like my brother and even like a lot of his friends, like everything is about comfort. Everything is about how can I get more comfortable? How can it be even easier? How can I can't afford this phone? Well, I can lease the phone. I can't get a car and Uber, or I can't do this. I can do that. If I can't, there's always something to make life easier these days. And it's really interesting because you're one of the few people I've met who are your age who have ever talked about any of this stuff. Like, how did you get into it? How did you start working on your personal development? Was that something that started like this year or like a couple years ago?
It was like a year and a half ago, I would say.
Okay.
And I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always had this type of spirit of like, oh, let's make some money.
Yeah.
Echoing a little bit.
What do you say?
Am I echoing a little bit?
A little bit, but you're good. You sound good.
Okay, cool. I always had this entrepreneurial spirit, and I got this energy from working out, I would say, because when I started to push myself in the gym, I started to elevate my mind. Like, I'm working out my body. For example, I'm doing a bench press, but also in my head, I'm fighting the battle of like, shit, can I lift this off me? Can I lift this, 200 pounds off of me? I only weigh 140, right? So it's a mental battle. And it's when you have that mental battle and that physical battle with, for example, bench press, that's when you grow, right? So when I was working out, I started to realize things within myself. I realized that I could push myself to a limit that I didn't even know existed.
Facts.
So it was like an absolute breakthrough. Because I was like, whoa, I didn't know I could lift that much. Whoa, I didn't know my muscles can get that big that fast. Right? And it was like the newbie gains at that point. I was like, damn.
Oh, yeah. Newbie gains are the best gains.
Right. I got titties now. Cool. Right. And it's like, also with that, like, my mind started to grow and expand, and I started to feel this new motivation, this new energy. I started reading these quotes of like, do what it takes, those cliche quotes, but it really resonated with me. I was like, wow, I don't have to live an average life.
Right.
The average person does not work out.
Right.
I'm doing something to better myself that the majority of the population does not do. So and it wasn't that hard to do. And it gave me such a big elevation and such a big push in my mindset that, wow, what if I just did this in every aspect of my life? Where could I be?
Yeah.
Right? And with this mindset switch, I started searching. I started searching, surfing the web, going on YouTube, looking for mentors. And I was lucky enough to have someone slap me in the face and was like, dude, you got to read this book.
Which book was it?
It was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Classic.
Yeah, that's
the classic.
It is a classic. It changed my life, because I learned about, assets and liabilities. I learned about the mindset of money, though, right? Like, the assets and liabilities, you eventually hear that. But with the book as a whole, you really understand the mindset of money, of how you can put your money to work, right? Instead of letting it sit in the bank. It gives you a whole new perspective of life, even not even just money. Right? It relates it to a different aspect of the world where there's possibilities. You don't have to go with the norm. Oh, okay, interesting. That's what that book really did for me. It affirmed that I don't have to be average. I don't have to be like the rest. So from that day forward, when I finished that book, and I finished it in like a week,
Mm-hmm.
You remember, I don't know if you remember the Jack and Annie books.
Yeah, I do remember those.
Those would take me like 3 months to finish, man. I was a slow ass reader,
Mm-hmm.
right? But with self-development books, they're so easy to read and they're engaging and they give you gems. So it's like, I want another gem. I want another gem. Give me another gem. Give me another gem, right?
You know, the thing that I find super interesting about what you're saying around this idea of like that personal development, and it bleeds into everything. So for me, I'll give you background on me. Like, I worked when I got out of work, was doing technology sales. I'd always had like a bug to build apps, had kind of halfway done it. And like 3 years ago, I read Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And I feel like it's a weirdly spiritual book without actually talking about being spiritual, because he talks about this idea that everyone thinks they're at 100%. And most times when you think you're at 100%, you're really at 40%. And like, in a weird way, it's that same idea of like, you have no idea how powerful you could be, how infinite you could be, what you could be in 1 year if every day you were giving everything that you had. Like, and at the end of the day, if you believe that you're this, then it's true. If you believe that you're that, then it's true. And so like, as you continue that process, like I got through that book, then I was listening to Jordan Peterson, then I was learning about fasting, then I was like diving deeper into building apps, then it was like I quit my job, then I was like that personal development makes it so it's like it's just not enough. The matrix just like opened up. I did like, and then I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I read like, and it was just like, how much of what I've always believed in my life is easy to believe because I've always believed it. Like, I used to think I couldn't not eat every meal. I used to think that I couldn't, like, I didn't think I could run below a 6-minute mile. I never thought that I would be able to like lose a certain amount of weight. And then I did all of it in way less time than I ever could have imagined. And so it's just so interesting how we literally are whatever we believe we are. And it's kind of crazy from a societal perspective, because I feel like hearing you talk the way that you are at 18 years old, a lot of people, like 18-year-olds, don't know what to do with themselves. Like, they have no interest in personal development. They can't do it. It's not possible. You need to take care of them. We need more fail safes for them. We need more free stuff for them. And here you are saying like, I need to be more. I want to be uncomfortable. I want to be better. And I think it's great to hear, because I've just heard way too many people talk about like your generation as if like it's just not possible. And here you are, like just stepping into all the greatness that you can. And it really started at the end of the day with like reading those books and getting into them, you know? And I think it's really special. And I want to ask you, have you, like, when you talk to some of the people your age, have you been able to kind of help some people your age, or have you kind of seen that some of your efforts or things have kind of bled into people reaching out?
Well, this is an interesting topic, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I think someone my age, a young person, in order to want to better themselves, to develop themselves, they have to be slapped in the face, and not actually physically slapped, but slapped with information.
Right.
Slapped with the realization that you don't have to follow the norm. Slapped with the realization that we're being lied to. Slapped with the realization that if you can better yourself to a point where, if you can better yourself to a point where that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if this makes sense, but your mind starts to become so strong.
Yeah.
Where you create things into fruition.
Facts.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense.
Right. And I didn't say it the best way. However, it's true. Because again, you are who you think you are.
Right.
And what you say to yourself every day, what you affirm to yourself, what you believe yourself to truly be, is what comes into fruition. The universe gives you what you're ready for.
Facts.
But to answer your question, the people that I talk to in my age, a lot of them have it in them. You know, they have the bug in them. They want to do it for themselves. They read a few books here and there. Like they read Rich Dad Poor Dad, for example. They listened to a few podcasts, and now it's like they just don't know what to do from there, right? And then there's a big percentage of the young population who does not give a crap about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to live my young years. I want to just have fun, you know. And it makes sense. Like a big majority of my friends back at home, they're like, dude, just enjoy your youth, you know, just enjoy being young. And my response to that is, one, I am enjoying the crap out of myself.
Yeah.
I'm traveling the world. I'm meeting new people. I'm inspiring people. I get a platform to share my message.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to happen from being intentional with my fun in these early years is going to allow me to have fun and be happy and be stable and be comfortable in the rest of my years.
Bro, I literally read a quote yesterday. You must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes? It's like Nietzsche. I think a lot of people are just so cocooned in like who they are and everything that they believe that it just makes for just a super comfortable life. And at the end of the day, like I think back to when I was eating, drinking, partying, having a good time, like life to some extent was really, really easy. But I also found myself asking like, what's the meaning to life? What's the point to any of this? Like, am I just going to do this forever? You know, like you have these moments of being down. And in a weird way, it's like everybody kind of knows that we have these moments when you're living like that. But taking on responsibility, taking on this like point of intentionality and trying to be the best version of myself has literally created almost like a new form of joy for my life, which I'm sure is like kind of like, but you can't explain it to anyone. Like you can't explain how doing things that are difficult somehow makes life better, except for trying to give the analogy for like the gym. Like no one actually per se enjoys working out until you're sore, but like Lord knows you really do love how you look when you're really fit. It's really, I mean, it's literally that simple. But at the same time, like, is it not great to go to a buffet and eat yourself into a coma? For sure. I've done it. It's like a blast. But in the long term, you feel like crap. You feel like shit taking a dump later on. You feel like, you know, you're constipated. You eat the bad foods. Like, kind of have to choose. It's either going to be doing the really, really easy stuff where in the moment you're just kind of gliding along, but then you're kind of leaving it up to fate because you're not intentional. Who knows where you're going to end up? I mean, for me, the thing that slapped me in the face was like my whole life fell apart at one point. And that's when I started reading the books because I was like, how did I even get here? I didn't even realize like I was floating to this point. And then sure enough, it was like, well, I gotta get on track. I gotta do something with my life. So I want to backtrack right quick. So for you, obviously, right now, you were talking about how you're building on wanting to build this national wholesaling business, and you're very focused on helping with the personal development. So what are some of those things that you're being intentional on right now? Like, what are some of these next steps that you're sort of stepping into right now?
The next steps, that's a good question. So right now I'm at a place, right? I'm at a place where I am trying to laser down my focus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a struggle for everybody being able to put your focus in one place. So right now I'm in a weird place where I'm trying to gain more clarity on what it is I truly want, right? Because in my mind, I know I can have whatever I want. I know I can do whatever I want. I have to do some things right now at this time that I might not like in order to get to where I want to be. Exactly. So I made a commitment to myself 2 nights ago. Yesterday. I made a commitment to myself yesterday. I have it here on my vision board. Okay. I just created a vision board right here.
Oh, very nice.
It says, from this day forward, August 6, 2021, I will be the absolute best at anything I do. I commit to excellence in every aspect of my life. What this means to me is that everywhere I go, I will create excellence. Okay. If I want to do wholesaling, I'm going to be the best at wholesaling. I'm going to be excellent at it, right? Mm-hmm. And I will lead with excellence because I believe that I am a leader. As a born leader, then everyone around me will strive to this excellence because if I lead with excellence, then they follow that excellence. Mm-hmm. So I just learned this from my performance coach, right? Imagine Hilton Hotel. Mm-hmm. That's excellence, right? Everything you see in Hilton Hotel, they make sure it's excellent. They make sure it's beautiful. It's put back into place. It's folded right. It looks awesome. When you go in there, you feel like you paid the right amount for this.
Right.
Right. Now, if you go back to my hometown home, right, go into my bathroom, that is not excellence. It's not.
I feel that.
And that's also why I had to leave my environment, right? Because it was such a standard of, what's the opposite of excellence? Disgustingness?
Mediocrity.
Mediocrity. Okay. It was mediocre. It was mediocre, and I didn't want to raise that standard because that standard at home was so built around mediocrity. Mediocrity. I think that's it.
Mediocrity. You got it.
Now in my new place, I'm staying with my performance coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's teaching me to create excellence within your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, my bathroom, now I put everything back to where it is and I pay attention, right? If there's spots everywhere, right? If there's water everywhere, I make sure to wipe it up. And you would think this is a given, right? But a lot of people don't do that. And I didn't used to do it. I just
same.
right?
Same boat. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Because it's just like the bathroom. You use the same. You do your next thing. Like, who cares, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you leave your bathroom a mess, guess what's going to happen in your business? You're going to be cutting the same corners. You're not going to be wiping down the little things, right? In terms of like checking on people, making sure it's because you want your business to be excellent, right? Excellence creates great results, creates great profit, creates a great life, right? In a sense. So I've learned now, and I'm not perfect at this at all. Like I'm building it now. I just recently learned it to create excellence everywhere around me. So no matter where I go, I make sure to leave it better than it was. So any person that I come encounter with, I make sure I leave them better. Every time I go to the bathroom, every time I go to the kitchen, I make sure to leave it better than it was.
I love that. The one thing I was going to say to add on to that, like sometimes people nitpick and they're like, oh, well, some people have success and they don't make their bed. Some people do this with the bathrooms and don't make their bed, or I'm sorry, don't clean the bathroom and they still do great in work. And what I find interesting about that is what I actually think doing that does is like, if you are willing to wake up and make sure every little thing in your life is taken care of, it only goes up. So like, it's not a guarantee not doing the small things is going to equate to you not handling certain things in your life. But at the end of the day, if every day you're paying attention to things that really don't matter, when things kind of matter, sort of matter a lot, there's no reason that you wouldn't carry that habit over, because for the things that don't really matter that much, you're already doing. Like, why would you not carry that habit of excellence over? It's like same thing when I used to play basketball. Like, say the same way you practice, the same way you play in games. There were some people who did not practice that hard who played great in games, but the vast majority of people who practiced really, really hard played really, really hard in games, because if you can do it on the little things, it always is going to carry up. So if here at the baseline you're at 0, well, I mean, maybe you can get to 100 at 1, but there's a chance that you won't. But if you're at 100% at 0, like on the things that literally no one cares about, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who's like, well, yeah, I make my bed every day, make sure my bathroom is clean, make sure I treat everyone with respect, but I don't really care about my work that much. No, I don't really feel like giving my best at my job. Like, why wouldn't you? I mean, you're already taking care of the things that don't matter. And I was thinking about that a bunch, because I would always get this pushback from people when I would make that point where I'm like, this is a great place to start. And people are like, well, I know someone who, is a mess and he does a great job. He makes tons of money. And it's just like, right. Okay, well, like, I'm not saying that everyone is that way, but we are making the point that just taking the time on that piece almost gives you a better chance at doing better at the other things. I do want to take a minute for you to be able to kind of speak to, I feel like for your generation at least, like what are some things that you think can help them through the process? Because I mean, one of the reasons I really wanted you to be a part of this is that I think that like, I feel like I'm normally one of the youngest people in any room when I'm working with people. Like, I just was at an event with one of my mentors, Gregory, and I think there was one person younger than me. Everyone else was over, 40, 50 years old for the most part. So you being 18 years old, I mean, you're like decimal percent of a decimal percent in regards to personal development. So if you don't mind, like, obviously you were able to, find a coach, find a partner, do certain things that I think a lot of people don't know how to do. Like, what was that process like for you to kind of put those things together? Because I think a lot of people don't even really know, like, even have an idea of where to start, because that's kind of almost like a lost art in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll start here. That you need to be the stupidest in the room.
Okay.
A lot of times, right? If you want to be able to grow, like if you are the best runner out of your 5 friends and you're trying to get better at running, you're not going to get better. Like your friends will all get better. They'll elevate to where you are, but you're gonna stay stagnant. You might get a little bit better, but you'll probably decline a little bit because you'll have to allot to their speed. So that's how I see everything now. That's how I always try to surround myself with people better than me, smarter than me, more ahead than me, right? Because it forces me to get onto their level. It forces me to speed up in order to get to where they are. So I would say understand that principle, that being the stupidest person in the room helps you out because it elevates you. And it's like, drop your ego in that sense, where it's like, okay, I can be the stupidest in the room and feel fine because I know I'm going to get to their space. And you use their smarts, their experience, their knowledge as leverage. It's like rock climbing, right? The people in front of you, the people ahead of you are the rocks. You just keep using them and climbing. And it's not using them in a sense, but you're just elevating yourself as you continue to climb, right? Because everyone needs to get to their goals. So you just got to climb up to your goal. You got to use others' knowledge as leverage, right? And sometimes that means paying for speed. Sometimes that means dropping value to other people in order for speed. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Other people that are 5 steps ahead of you, let's say in real estate, have experience, they have knowledge, they have the expertise. Right? I need that. How do I get that? A lot of people will require you to pay. Okay, if I have the money, I will pay you. Teach me what you know, because it's going to save me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, right? For let's say $500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, however much it is. I'll pay that to save a few years. 100%. It's just money, right? Money's just paper. Right. It comes to you. They're printing trillions.
Yeah, right? There's a lot.
Some of that will come into my pocket, regardless of what I do. It will, right? So if I can't pay for that speed, I'm going to go to that person and say, hey, how can I bring you value? But I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to find out what you need before even asking you and bring you that value and make you fucking love me as a person because I brought you that value. And then it's going to be inevitable that, hey, can you just teach me what you do for lead generation? Or, hey, can you just teach me how to do this, however, whatever you need to learn. Now they will look at you as a person of value, right? Every relationship is a value add. You know, we always use people. And it's just human nature. There's love, there's real love. Like I got love for everybody. And everyone has, like, people in my circle have love for me, but we use each other. For example, some of my really good friends, we boost off of each other's energy. So with mentors, you have to be able to bring value for them to bring you true value. They might send you to a video or something. That's value, but that's not purity from their heart to be able to help you to get to where you want to be. But in order to get that type of energy from someone, you have to bring value.
That's one of the principles with Napoleon Hill, making sure that you actually give more value than the money that's kind of being given for any job. Like making sure that you are giving as much value as possible. And you know what's crazy is that I feel like a lot of standards for our society of like trying to get over on people. I feel like people are always trying to figure out how they can do the least amount of work for the most amount of output. Like most of the things that you talk about are honestly contrary to some of the things that I think are cultural norms at this point. But it's part of the reason that a lot of people do like mediocre work or don't necessarily do things the way that they want or even get the things that they want. And so, you know, I applaud you in general for just working so hard to be the best version of yourself and implementing a lot of the things that you've read. You know, if you've read anything about personal development, you know that you should be doing vision boards. You know that you should be doing gratitude. You know that you should be meditating. And I know at times I don't really do it that well, but talking to you, you've reminded me how much those things mattered at certain points in my life where I was able to take massive strides forward. And so I've hit some like pauses in some of the things I've done in business over the last like couple months. And part of that was that I forgot how much some of those things matter. It's funny when you're in it. It's almost like you're enjoying it and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna keep this up. And then one day you're kind of like, I don't know, maybe like I don't need to meditate today. And then it just bled over. And so it's just been incredible being connected with you and being able to really grow with you, man. Yeah, I don't know if I would have had those moments of clarity if I hadn't connected with you at the Better Way event. And shout out to Jay Monopoly and Levi for throwing such a incredible event. I mean, I had a really great time there, met a lot of great people. I do want you to be able to tell the people how they can connect with you and also how you can support them. It sounds like you want to keep throwing that value out there, and I've seen some of the videos you put out, so I'd love to hear what you've got going on, and then how people can connect with you, man.
For sure. And before we wrap up, I want to say one thing.
Yeah, bro.
So someone is listening to this and they're hearing us say like gratitude, journaling, working out, networking, all this stuff, and they're getting overwhelmed. Like, what do I do? I can't do all these things at once, and you can't, right?
Right.
What I want to give for you guys is really where to start, how to start, and what the foundation is. Okay. I think in order to get to where you want to be in your goals, if they're extraordinary goals, you really have to build out your mindset first. I truly think 9 out of 10, 95%, 99%, whatever it is mindset. Because it's cliche, but if you believe you can do it, you're going to be able to do it. Mixed with a little consistency, mixed with a little discipline, mixed with the right people, you're going to be able to do it,
Right.
So that's truly why it's 95% mindset. Because if you have that, you can, everything else you have. I mean, mindset is also resourcefulness.
Right.
And
with the mindset comes the consistency and the discipline too.
All of it is together.
Right.
And when you're resourceful, you can get all the resources to get to where you want your goals to be.
Right.
But what I would say is find out how to build your mindset. Really find out how to build your mindset, build your confidence, and build this structure, this foundation around you. And hey, that's what I'm here for. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I do for people, and I don't charge crap, right? This is my passion. It gives me fire. It gives me fuel. So when I get to bless people, people are blessing me too. So my Instagram is @coach, COACH.Chun, CHUN, Coach Chun. And what I just post a bunch of content about how to build your mindset. I teach other people how to build mindset too. And right now, like I just do it out of passion, and what I'm here for is to be able to be on stage, write books, do all these things where I'm able to help people, really guide them to the point of 0 to, let's say, 100, wherever they want to be. Right, level 100 confidence, level 100 mindset, whatever it is that you want to get to, that's what I help you with.
Right.
Because I went through that time of having 0 mindset to the point where now I can have anything I want. And then mindset stands for it. So yeah, just follow along with my journey. I'm going to be able to help you one way or another in some time in life. Whether you read one of my quotes one day or read one of my books or see me on stage. And I'm speaking this all into existence right now. I don't have any books out and I haven't been on stage yet.
Yeah.
But you will see me on stage real soon.
I know you will, man. Your energy is just too positive. And I love that, like, you just put these things out in the universe. I love what you're doing for your age. Like, I feel like you're really going to turn into like a shining light. It's only a matter of time. And I'm just really excited to see it. I'm really happy to even be just in the universe connected with you because, I could have gone to that event and not really been as open. We may not have had that talk over by charging our phones. Nothing happens by accident. And I think each of these like podcasts that you're on, each of the steps that you're taking, each Instagram video you make is going to not only kind of push your world forward, but you're also like giving people a lot of game, a lot of help, a lot of momentum. So is there anything else that you want to say to the people before we end up here? I want to give you a chance to give like one more shout out or anything at all.
The last thing I want to say for people is truly look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself where you want to be. And then once you do that, listen to some music, hit the journal, hit the notebook, and just write down what you want out of your life.
Yeah.
So a year later, when you're wherever you are, let's say you're 10 times where you want to be, you can look back at that piece of paper And now you get that beautiful sense of like, oh, I did that.
No
I
doubt.
really did that.
Yeah.
And then you get in the habit of setting goals. You get in the habit of bettering yourself, because progress equals happiness.
No doubt.
But you got to understand that happiness comes from within you. It doesn't come from anybody else. It doesn't come from any external. Happiness comes from within yourself. So make it your mission to find it within yourself and be able to give it to everyone else around you. And that is my mission. Django, I thank you so much for doing what you're doing, for bringing me on, for giving me a platform where I can speak, where I can share my message. And you're doing such amazing things for people. And I applaud you, man. You're awesome. Your energy is super key. You're very humble. You're an amazing person, and I'm very blessed to have met you. So thank you.
Well, I loved having you here, man. Like, honestly, this is really like the way that I do want to take the podcast. You know, my first couple episodes, I think I was a little stagnant, like just having a hard time trying to catch the flow. But you definitely helped me kind of, I feel like, come into myself a little bit more and be able to be more open and talk about different parts of my journey. So thank you so much for being on, man. You know, this is the Django Show, episode 4 with my brother Leo. Make sure you guys get connected with him. He is going to be doing some incredible things here in the future. Have a good one.
Yeah, guys.